Morning, guys and gals. Froggy here. I promised you this. This is going to be part 2 of the installation of the Boslla 4-mode bulbs into my C6 Corvette Z06 over there. And this is the passenger side. And please refer back to the other video for the driver's side. And I came across a couple of issues, so I'm going to try and solve those issues. This is a cover that goes over the back side of the bulb and the wires and everything else. The bulb has a fan. The fan needs to circulate air to cool the bulb and the parts of the bulb. So roughly where I've driven with written with a Sharpie, that's where the air is going to be coming off the bulb. So what I decided to do is drill a bunch of small holes all around there like that. I've got some drills that I haven't used yet, so they should be pretty sharp. I don't know what it's going to be like drilling into rubber. This is rubber. But we've got two conflicting things that we want to accomplish. We want to keep dust and dirt and everything off of this bulb area, but we want to let air in and out of the bulb area. So it's conflicting. What can I say? I'm going to try this, and the results will show over time. Anyway, need 2 hands, just drilling that rubber. I'll show you how it comes out. So what I decided to do is put a big fat dowel there and back up where I'm drilling with that dowel. I think that ought to work. What do you think? Let's try. Okay, nothing special going on there. I just drilled 6 holes. There you go. And now I'll be able to put that cover back on there and not block that fan. So now, the other thing I have to figure out is how to stuff all of this into a space that it was not designed for. So this is going to be trial and error, and I'm probably not going to shoot video of every second of it, but I'll show you what I ended up with. By the way, I got a quick footnote here. Let me get a pointer. On the driver's side, I suggested that you replace this sealing ring that comes with the Boslla with the original ring, because I was having trouble twisting this and tightening it up. That's the driver's side. Now on the passenger side, I did that, and this is kind of a loose fit, so I'm going to go back to the thicker one that comes from Boslla. You can probably see a little bit of the thickness difference. Now, why is that different from one side to the other side? Either the manufacturing measurement from here to here is different on the bulb, or the manufacturing dimension on the housing from there to there is different. Something's different. Anyway, I'm going to go switch to the thicker one here. Use whichever one lets you get the bulb in firmly, not over tight, not over loose. So you've got 2 to work with anyway. Okay, more modifications that we're going to have to do. I tried as best as I could to stuff all those wires and resistors and connectors, and there's a lot of stuff, and it won't go in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice open a hole here, and then I'll only put a couple of wires through that. The rest of this is going to mount outside, and then I'll seal up that hole with something. Okay, let's slice it. Okay, like that. You got the idea? We're going to shove just a few wires through there, and then they'll be sticking out and everything else will mount outside. Okay, so here's where we are. This OEM Corvette weather cover will not seal with the Boslla bulb in there because the Boslla bulb sticks out too far, long and the short of it. So I'm gonna leave the cover off, and then I'm gonna mount the wires the same way as I did as the other side. I'm gonna loop them around, and I'm going to zip tie them, and that's about it. So this cover will not go back on. You will have to leave the cover off, or figure out something, but I'm not going to figure that out for this right now. Got to keep moving. I will give you one final thought, which would be just cut a hole where that fan section of the Boslla bulb would just stick right out the hole. Then you could be able to seal this back on there. And I might do that, but not today. So this is how it's going to end up. This component is zip tied to that adjuster that I told you about on the other side. Look at the other video if you don't know what I'm talking about. The fan is in the wide open, can breathe. This, I think, is a resistor, and one of my viewers told me that it gets really hot. So this is out in the open here. Again, it's looped, oh sorry, a little out of frame. It's looped around back of that adjuster and snugged up tight to this screw right here. So none of it's going anywhere because it's going to have a cover over it like that. The only thing is, I would say it could get dusty back there. It won't get dusty where the light reflects because that's sealed, but it will get dusty in and around that area. Okay, that's about it. I'm not gonna show you how I put this cover back on. You can just reverse engineer it from how I took it off. Give me a thumbs up or a like if this helps you out. Subscribe to my channel if you want more from Froggy. Be safe, have fun. Ring the bell if you want notifications. Froggy out, bye-bye. I did just figure something out, and I want to share it. Those rubber covers do actually seal the dust from inside this clear lens, if you want to call it a lens. Yeah, I guess you would call it a lens. It's not a reflector, but whatever you call it. I can see the wires that I've been dealing with right there. So I think that has to be sealed up one way or another. You might still be able to get away with leaving the fan part open because that, I don't know how much dust will get through that fan, if any. I'm not sure. But as far as the rest of it, I think that weather pack has to go back on there, or you're going to get awfully dusty there. Okay, Froggy out, bye-bye. If I figure it out, I'll share it. Consider it open for discussion. Here's what I'm thinking you have to do. And this is the passenger side. So, let me prop this up. Sorry, I had the phone the wrong way. So you're going to have to cut this out for the fan, all right? Just a big circle. The fan sticks out there. Then for the two wires on the top, slice it where that line is and then drill a big hole for the wires to come through. And then where you sliced it, that should come back together, hopefully. And the same thing on the side. Slice it and then a big hole for the two wires to come through. The two metal pieces. One I think is a resistor. The other one I think is like the brain that makes the light go into different modes. Those have to be outside. There's no room to shove them inside. So I might do this as a third video. I don't know when I'll get to it. Put your comments up if you think it might work. Okay? See ya. Froggy out. Okay, I do want to give you this one night shot. I'm at the gym, and this, if you look at my other video on these lamps, I have one of them installed, and this time I have two of them installed. And we're going to let some traffic go by here. And I'm shooting out, it's more than 1/8 of a mile, but it's definitely not 1/4 of a mile. But I just want to show you when I hit the high beams. Look at, there's a back of a truck on the right, and there's a couple of cars parked on the left. And then look right across the street also. When I want to let that one car clear. Okay, so here's the high beams. You see the stop sign, the truck on the right, cars parked on the left, and that's no enhancement of the phone on the camera on the phone. That's just like whatever the default settings are. So these are pretty bright guys. So let me see if I can get into the snow mode, fog mode, and now the blinking mode. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the brights. So there you go. Froggy out again.